Welcome to movementprofessional.com, and this is the elevated burpee using 2 boxes for a bit of a deficit in the push-up. Alright, so no different here than the full burpee, other than it's just elevated, so it makes it a bit easier and you don't have to have as much range of motion in the jump through. Alright, so you're going to start in a hip hinge, put your hands on the box, so very similar to how you would set up for an elevated push-up. You're going to jump back and start moving down in the jump back right into the bottom part of the push-up. Alright, and then again the bottom part of the push-up is going to be almost like a W with the arms, so you're creating some external rotation, you get a little stretch in the chest, and you're basically loading the springs of the chest to push up hard using the arms, as well as the legs are pushing into the mat and engaging the core to bring your legs through. You're going to land back in that hip hinge position. Knees wide, so you're not in that valgus, the knees should not cave in. And then you just are loaded for the jump. You just go right back up. Alright, and then it's quick hip hinge again. Hands go on the boxes, jump back down into the bottom of the push-up, and load the push-up and jump right back through, and you land in the position in which you started. Alright, and that's key to the idea and the concept of positions and transitions. There's only so many positions to master. Once you master them, you'll be able to hit them every time as you go faster. And then you just load for that vertical jump there. Okay, so one of the keys here is that when you come down, what can be helpful is to put your hands, touch your thighs, and that will promote that, one, staying close to your body so you don't jump out too far in front of you, and then it'll promote getting the hips back into that hip hinge. Too often you see just coming right back down from the jump, and then you're landing very hard through the shoulders instead of taking the time to get the hips back. Your hands then become a lot closer to the boxes. Alright, and let's watch this and fast forward. Jump back and right up. Let's look at it from the side. Same idea, hip hinge, jump back, bring yourself forward. Alright, hip hinge, you're deep. My neck is a little more extended than I would like, but you don't want to be looking up, you want to be looking down, preferably with more of a chin tuck than I'm showing there. And then you come through, and you're seeing this straight line. Alright, and that's the hip hinge. Now, so you're loading, because my knees aren't too far forward, I'm loading the hamstrings back through here, which are going to be working for me when I jump up vertically. Alright, and then the vertical jump should be just that. I'm jumping straight up vertically. Okay. And so that is the elevated push-up. This is going to be the step right before, the elevated burpee. This is going to be the step right before the full burpee. This is the full burpee. So you're going to start with yourself standing upright, and I want you to initiate the burpee from a hip hinge so you can get your hands closer to the ground, and then you can use your hands to catapult your feet back, and basically it's a sprawl down to the ground. So the more efficient you get with the burpee, the less it is of a negative push-up, and the more it is just a sprawl, get your chest to the ground, and then from there it's using some of the hips, some of the arms. Try to use your full body as much as possible, keeping some tension in the lower belly so you don't overextend through the spine. You're going to whip yourself back up into a squat. Okay, and then, so let's slow that down a little bit. You're going to push off hard, whip your legs through. My hands are still on the ground, and I'm in a transition here. I'm still in a sort of a hip hinge, a high hip hinge, and then I land in the squat, knees out. Ideally, my ankle mobility is a little bit better. The feet should be relatively neutral. Alright, but that open hip position is important so you can land solid on the feet and not land on the toes, which so many do, which will just jam the knees up and get you more flexion in the spine. So every burpee that does that is going to create more and more low back problems and more knee problems, as well as anterior hip, front of the hip pain, because the hip will just get jammed up. Alright, and then you just go into a jump from there. So ideally, again, we're going into that hip, we're loading the hip, jumping back into that sprawl, and then from the ground, catapulting back up. We're in the squat, and in the squat position or in the hip hinge here, I'm already loaded to jump up, so it's one less step. Alright, so hip hinge down. Let's look at it slow and we'll look at it fast. Hands down, jump the legs back, and I'm not trying to go as slow as possible on the way down. I'm just trying to not smash my face off the ground and control the motion. I can rest my belly there for a second, and then I'm going to use hips and arms to snap through back to this hip hinge. I'm already loaded for the jump. Alright, let's look at it a little faster. Jump up, hip hinge down, kick back, explode up. One more time. And just make it as fluid as possible. One of the best conditioning workouts you can do, but there's a lot to it. There's a lot that can go wrong. So we're going to break it down.